Are we live? Are we lagging? Please let me know. Are we? Shut up. Sup King, going to Thailand next week. Any tips? Any tips for going to Thailand? Hang on. Any tips for going to Thailand? Koh Samui. Koh Samui is a really, really beautiful island. Should probably go there, bro. How many viewers do we have right now, boys? We'll begin in like 1 minute, boys. I'm just setting up some settings. Oh, sweet. Yeah, that works. I've got that little thing right up there now, which shows like if anyone's just donated. That's nice, that. I want to find the other thing. Like, does anyone know how like Sneeko and Fresh and Fit and everyone have it on their live streams where the super chat appears? It's like I've got it right now, but there's a certain one which looks really professional. Like it's got their YouTube logo and how much they've donated and everything. It'd be nice having that on screen. What do I think about Fresh and Fit? What do I think about Fresh and Fit? I'd say my opinion of them is mixed. I was quite negative towards them when I first saw them come out, and I was criticizing them for like personal issues, and I've criticized a lot of people, and I've brought in their personal life and stuff, and I think that's, when I look back now, I've displayed like poor character doing that. The work that they do is controversial, and the viewpoint that I had was that, oh well, you know, it's a bad thing because they're just making like brainless media of just, you know, making fun of these Miami girls. But there is a very, very underlying message which is extremely important. Someone said settings, option, display, function, sus. What? We have like the same 3 people just spamming. It's like the Pareto principle, the 80-20 rule. 80% of the spam will come from 20% of the autists. Okay, let's begin class. Today I'm going to teach you what I've... Wait, let me find a place to keep this, keep the laptop still. Today I'm going to teach you about... Hang on. It's very distracting seeing this shit. Fuck it. So today I'm going to teach you about networking, and everything I'm going to teach you is either from my own experiences or a book that I've been reading recently titled Never Eat Alone. And so if you want to network, if you're at the position in life right now where you're not at the beginning stages of your self-improvement journey, you're not at the beginning stages, you've advanced somewhat, you've gained like a good level of success, you've built yourself up to be a good man, a successful man, and now you want to meet like-minded men. I can't encourage that enough. Like, it may be the single fastest way to actually level up is just meet other guys who are doing good shit and start collaborating with them. It's almost like a secret tactic that the hordes of average men don't really know about because they only spend time with average men. So you see this a lot in the YouTube influencer space where people will collab with each other. You've seen me do this with Sneeko, with First Man, everything. It's such a powerful tactic that is not used, which is to network with other successful people and then to essentially share wisdom and value to each other, particularly if you're all on social media like you see with what's happening with, like, you know, me and other creators right now. So before we begin, I have to give you the disclaimer, and I also have to sort of enlighten you in case you didn't realize right now. The single most important aspect of networking with successful people is to become successful yourself. And I know that's the unsexy answer and you wanted like some quick tip that you could quickly implement, but you have to become successful yourself to be attractive to some other guy who's also built up a good level of success. And it doesn't necessarily, and even it's better if it's not in the same kind of like realm of success as the other people have. So it's sometimes there's a benefit to, for example, being in a completely different industry and then getting in touch with someone who's in a separate industry and wanting to like collab with them and share ideas together. But you need to bring something to the table. The majority of guys who talk about being lonely, who talk about wanting to like spend time with other guys, who want to increase their network, who want to make more friends and everything, the majority of guys who feel like this, I know that this sounds heartless, but they bring almost nothing to the table. Like, they'd actually be unfun people to spend time with. And it's the cold-hearted truth, is that if you don't this is the cold-hearted truth. If you think about your friendship right now, if you think about your friend circle, your network right now, that completely demonstrates how much value you bring to other people. No one really wants to talk about this, but if you are, for example, thinking to yourself like, oh, you know, I'm so lonely and I've got no friends and there's no one who I'm speaking to, bro, you know, everyone else will give you this like feel good like lesson of like, oh, well, you know, just believe in yourself, just be yourself. But the truth is, if you've got no one around you right now, it's because no one wants to be there, because you're not that great to be around. I had to accept this hard to swallow pill when I went months without speaking to a single person. I had to accept that I'm not as great as I think I am. One day it just hit me. I was like, okay, if I was as social, as confident, as happy as I thought I was, I would have more friends than I do now. It took such a huge level of humility for me to realize, like, I'm not that great. I don't bring that much to the table. And it's from that moment about 2 years ago where I started to read books on social skills, and it opened up my eyes to think like, holy fuck, I've been doing this all wrong. I thought like I was such a social, confident guy. And then I start actually leveling up my social skills, which is going to be a big part of networking with successful people. And I realized that I was doing like a lot of the bad things that is spoken about in like very good social skills books, like How to Win Friends and Influence People. The first chapter of that is speaking about never complaining and never condemning others and never criticizing others. And I used to do that all the time, but I had this like false level of belief thinking that, oh, I'm so successful because I had a fair amount of like friends in university who we would just go out and like drink with. I wonder, can I ban people on this? I'm on Streamlabs, so it doesn't even work properly, but it's really annoying. Bunch of like I'm not even gonna swear at them, bro. I'm not gonna give them attention. Motherfuckers really sit here and just fucking spam live chat. Yo, who wants to be a mod? Let's get some mods in this bitch. The next big thing is ban you, bro. Is there anyone who's watching this who has been here for a while who I would actually recognize? Is there anyone who's watching this who I would recognize? I'm only gonna mod people who like I've seen commenting for the last like months or years or something. Not just some random kid who's just said, make me a mod. Do we have any OGs here? Any OGs? Give it to Aravind. I don't recognize any of you boys. Okay, I'll wait till like August or Tarek or Mr. Beefal comes back. Where was I? So I'll give you like a little lecture for a few minutes, and then every 10 minutes or so I'll go to the super chat and we'll talk there. So, how many of you know First Man? Spam 1 if you know the YouTuber First Man, and spam 2 if you've never heard of him before. Let's just have a look of how many guys know him. So in cases you don't know him, First Man is another YouTuber who's in my space, and he's particularly focused on like business and entrepreneurship for young men. And he's had a channel for like a few years. He was on a lot of subscribers when I first heard about him. His real life name is Chris, and he means a lot to me. Him and his YouTube channel, the learning lessons that he posted, he means a lot to me because he is what I may be for you. Do you know, all this time I've been uploading videos to my channel, and I've always seen comments from people saying like, oh, you know, Hamza's changed my life and so much has happened because I've implemented his advice. And I've always loved, you know, getting that response, but I've always had this thing of like, come on man, like I need to find someone who I could comment that with. I personally need to find some kind of creator, some YouTuber who I could say he's completely changed my life through just watching his videos. And I didn't have that for a very long time, up until about a year ago today, when I was live streaming on Twitch. So I've been live streaming for like a year, but just very inconsistently because it's not like a big part of my business or anything. It's just, honestly, I'm just doing it for fun. And someone just randomly just kept on spamming saying, go watch First Man, like react to his videos. And I saw a couple of his videos on stream and I was like, oh, this seems interesting. So I subscribed and just kept on watching in the meantime, like off the stream, you know, through my normal day-to-day life. And holy fuck, his videos were so helpful. I literally broke up with 2 girls because of him and his mindsets that he put into me, and he drastically increased my standards for relationships. I can safely say, like, he heavily influenced me to become the man I am today, to get into the relationship that I'm in today, was heavily influenced by the work that he's done, which is literally life-changing. So he's a very like successful entrepreneur. He makes like £60,000 per month. And here I am, just, I was 24 years old and I just see his YouTube channel. My YouTube subscribers was much higher, but he was a lot more successful just in terms of like business and entrepreneurship. But I saw his channel, and I want to talk you through the story of like how him and I became friends, because that's quite interesting. How did a 24-year-old, just, young man become friends with like a successful businessman? Because I think a lot of you guys watching this would probably be interested in a relationship, like a friendship like that. As soon as I found him on YouTube, I started watching him and didn't really, think much. And, I commented on some random videos and everything, but like some old video or something, but nothing really like came out of it. But then I started to just mention him in the same way that I do right now, where, I was hyping him up on stream and everything. And I was saying like, oh shit, his videos are changing my life. And what was interesting is that my introduction to him, like how he found out about me, was very easy. Like how he wanted to then collab with me simply because people were commenting on his videos, telling him about me. Like, think about that level of pre-selection. Think about that level of power that I had in the situation, that he was getting comments on his videos speaking about me, telling him to do podcasts and collaborations with me. Think about how nice that actually is. How easy it was for me to then kind of have a level of credibility where he knows, oh shit, like Hamza's got followers and everything. Then I commented on one video, which was like a brand new video he made. I commented something and he replied saying, oh, hey man, hey man, so many people have been commenting your name and stuff, and I've been looking in, you post some really good stuff. Then either I or he, I think it's probably maybe me, whoever it was, one of us emailed the other person, said like, oh, like I've seen your stuff. Let's see if I even have the email. Let's see actually what I sent. I think it was me who messaged him. Was it on email? First one. It's not here. I have my receipts from buying his products from October 2021. Nah, it's not here, Chris. Nah, I can't. I don't know where it is, but like, yeah, I emailed him, or he emailed me. We ended up just speaking quickly and then just getting each other on WhatsApp. And still today, a year later, we still have like a very good like working friendship together. He's changed my life. Honestly, he's changed my life forever. He's become like a very good friend of mine. We call each other every now and then, and he's saying like, even though we've never even met in person, he's literally saying like, I've become one of his best friends, that he like looks up to me, I look up to him. It's been so valuable having a friendship like this, and it literally just started just from like me commenting on his YouTube video. So it goes to show you that there are other aspects involved in this, but it can be as simple as just like reaching out to someone online, and you end up having a life-changing friendship with someone who's extremely successful. Why did that happen? Why did this friendship start, and like, this sort of collaboration start with me and First Man? Because other people were commenting on his YouTube videos too. And I'm sure other people would wanted to be friends with him, and other people would have wanted to be friends with me. And someone just said it there, Will Stein Prius, mutually beneficial partnership. That's the exact answer that we needed. The reason why me and First Man became friends, his name's Chris, the reason why me and Chris became friends is because there was a mutually beneficial partnership. Straight away, as soon as we spoke to each other, both of us kind of knew like, oh yeah, well, if we do a podcast or something together, it will perform well. So okay, there's like value exchanged right there. Oh, he's a successful guy, I'm a successful guy. He makes more money per month, like Chris makes more money per month, but my audience on YouTube was like 3 times as big as his. So it was like, oh shit, like we both bring different things to the table, but which are still interrelated. So there was like a mutual potential exchange of value, which really, really excites high-level successful people. So where do you fit into this? You personally. Imagine you wanted to be friends with me. Would I but genuinely believe there could be a mutual exchange of value? Or would my brain automatically just conclude like, oh no, it's a fan? Because there's been people who somewhat started as fans, they just watched my videos, but they contacted me somehow. They got into my, into my, my face somehow, And instantly I thought of them as like, oh shit, like this could be someone who's a potential friend who I could gain something. And I know that sounds really like bad, and maybe we have to talk about this because this is really controversial to say like, oh, you know, I'll gain something from this person. How many of you think that's a bad thing to say or to think, that when you meet someone new, your brain thinks, what can I gain from them? Spam 1 if you think that's a bad thing to do. Like you're a bad person if you do think, what can I gain from this person? I'll only want to be friends with this person if I can gain something from them. Spam 1 if you think that's bad and that's selfish, and spam 2 if you think that's completely normal. I think the majority of people feel uncomfortable with this idea of like speaking about relationships and friendships as like a value exchange. I think the majority of people think it's heartless to think of someone and just think to yourself, okay, what can they do for me? And you know, even all the social skills books, they say, okay, don't think this, instead flip it around in this positive light and to instead think, okay, what can you do for them? But you only really want to do for this other person if you somewhat believe that they can somewhat do something for you back. A lot of people don't understand this. It seems like my chat does. It seems like my chat's clued up on this, but someone needs to tell you this, and I hope you can believe this. We are all inherently self-interested. If you can realize that simple statement, you will do extremely well in life. We are all self-interested. Now, you know what you're interested in. You know what you want because you've lived in your own brain for a while. But if you just step out of your own shoes for a split second and just ask yourself, okay, we're all self-interested. What are they interested in? What do they want? If you ask questions like this, you will do very well in life. Someone said it there, Belim, Valk, there's always some kind of exchange of value. We're all pretty selfish, and even the ones out of us who seem selfless, who are doing like charitable acts, they're even selfish, but on like such a meta hidden level where like someone doing like a charitable act seems selfless, but the reason why they're doing that is actually because they're self-interested. It's just like a better way to go forward to gain what they actually want for themselves. Think about the level of person that you want to attract and be friends with. What do they want? What are they interested in? Would they want to be friends with you? With things like social skills, networking, and friends, and even dating, you need to be hit with some fucking harsh truths. You need someone like me to come and tell you and say like, you don't bring that much to the table. If you're struggling with making friends, if you're struggling with meeting girls, if you're struggling with doing networking or anything, you know, getting people onto your podcast or anything, bro, it literally means that you don't bring that much to the table just yet. Either 1, you don't bring much value, or 2, you just simply haven't put in any kind of effort to do this yet. And people don't want to hear this. People would love to just be judged on like that sort of, you know, that shit that we learn in school where, oh, you know, everyone's valuable, everyone's like, we'd love that, but that's not how the world works. Everyone that you speak to, everyone that you look at, everyone that you end up speaking to or that is on YouTube, they're all self-interested and they're thinking about what you can do for them. So what was going through my mind a year ago when I first became friends with First Man? Well, it was in my mind, okay, he's got 30,000 subscribers, I've got 100 and something. But 30,000 like that he's got is still a very good number. So if we did some level of collaboration, some podcast or something, it would still perform quite well. He's a very knowledgeable guy, so I want that knowledge, I want that wisdom. And if me and him end up getting closer and having conversations, I knew that would develop me as a man. And that's exactly what happened. There was an exchange of value. It wasn't just out of the goodness of my heart. I remember there was a girl that I dated who called me out on this and called me a narcissist for this, where I told her like, yeah, well, I care about what people can do for me. And she said, oh, well, that's not like, I said, that's human nature. And she, like, you know, all these fucking stupid, like, I try not to be like offensive and stuff, but the one thing where I get offensive towards women is when they do this sort of like gaslighting towards men, where they start calling them like misogynist, narcissistic. Shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Don't fucking label me with any psychological term that you don't even understand yourself. But she started, oh, you're a narcissist. I'm like, no, it's self-interest. There's a difference. And she couldn't understand it, and she couldn't understand that you care about the value that someone can bring into your life because you're providing them value. It's like this fairy tale world that we've been raised in school. So her response, I know this is somewhat different, but her response was like, oh, but I'd rather be seen as like a real person rather than just what like the value I can provide to someone. It's like, but someone's perception of you is based on their perception of what you add or take away from their life. Anton just said, she don't understand the Sigma male grind set. Yeah, exactly. We've got an interesting topic I'm going to speak about. I'm going to tell you how I got onto a podcast alongside Dr. Jordan Peterson. You all know Jordan Peterson here, I assume. He's extremely famous psychologist, professor of psychology, author, everything. And I got onto a podcast where he has been a guest twice. So the podcast that I got onto is called the Modern Wisdom Podcast, and the host is called Chris Williamson. And I got onto this podcast alongside Jordan Peterson, Jocko Willink, Andrew Huberman, very, very famous people. And I was also a guest on this podcast. How did I get, like, you know, again, 24-year-old, I'm 25 now, but I think I was 24 when we did this. I was 24 years old. I didn't even have like a proper camera. I was just taking it from my phone and everything. I'm hopping onto this call with this guy who's done hundreds of interviews with a bunch of really successful, famous people. How did I get there? I'm going to tell you the story, and it's going to be very interesting because essentially what happened was the podcast host, Chris Williamson. So this is not Chris from First Man, but this is Chris Williamson, like a different YouTuber, and he's like the number one top podcaster in the UK or something now. He posted a very long, like a long unfiltered podcast of his conversation with someone speaking about dating dynamics, red pill kind of content. And I commented, and I watched it all, and I really, really liked it. And then they posted a highlight of that podcast. I watched the highlight just to kind of refresh in my mind of what I've just learned. And that highlight was just newly posted. I clicked on it and then commented saying something like, I can vouch, or I can recommend the full podcast to anyone who's interested in this. It was really good. So that's, you know, it almost seems a little bit audacious to say that, like me saying, oh yeah, I can recommend the full podcast. I commented that on the highlight. But then of course I had maybe 300, 400, 500,000 YouTube subscribers. I had like the little check mark on YouTube. So it seems like I've got a level of credibility. I posted that comment, and I think he replied, he liked it or whatever. And then he sent me an email. So Chris Williamson, the host of the Modern Wisdom podcast, sent me an email saying like, oh, hey, like, you know, just reaching out. Like, I've seen your content. Thank you for leaving the comment on the most recent video. I've seen your videos and you're doing really well. Like, we should connect sometime. So I replied back to him saying, oh yeah, you know, we should. Here's my WhatsApp number, whatever. And then we're literally saying, oh yeah, let's do a podcast. So suddenly, very, very quickly, like this shit moves quick in this online space of like influencers and podcasts and everything. Shit moves quick, man. Instantly like that, within 24 hours of writing a comment, I'm literally getting ready to do a podcast with a guy who's just interviewed Jordan Peterson twice. Again, why did I get into that situation? Now, of course, it takes a level of like actual social skills and networking and everything, but a huge part of this was simply just the value and the success that I already had built up anyway. If this is something that you've got to understand, is if you want these opportunities, you have to like be the man yourself. You have to reach a good level of success that you can offer people a level of value that they'll actually benefit from, like for example hosting you and in like a podcast, an interview, whatever. But alongside that, this is like why I've wanted to do this live stream today, alongside actually having value and being successful yourself, because that's, come on, it's common sense. You didn't need me to come onto this live stream and tell you like, oh yeah, well, if you want to be friends with successful people, then be successful yourself. That's the most important factor. But then on top of that, you need to know the specific social skills and networking skills which actually which get you to be like good and scaled in this skill of networking. Because up until just very recently, till I read this book, Never Eat Alone, my online networking skill has been quite low. So can you guess the mistake that I made with Chris Williamson, so the host of this podcast, after we did our podcast together? I just dropped out. I literally, like, he sent me a message or something. Oh, you know, it's done. And I'll be, oh yeah, well, you know, very nice. Like, okay, the podcast live, nice, fantastic. And then I just didn't really message him again for weeks, for months. he would pop up to me, he would message me saying like, oh hey, I found this article or this podcast which you'll like, that you should, like, he's saying this to me, that I should do a video on. He'd send me valuable content and I'd be like, oh yeah, thanks bro. And I just wouldn't send him anything. I wouldn't like re-give the value. I didn't water, like feed the relationship. And it potentially could have died, but it didn't, essentially because Chris just like carried us. His lower back must be sore, but he deadlifts up, but his lower back must be sore from like carrying this friendship, up until just literally just a couple of days ago, where I read this book and I'm like, oh fuck, okay, like, you know, networking's a very important skill. Let me like foster this relationship. I've been speaking to him more. We've got plans to get him onto the live stream, and seeing how Sneeko handles his collaborations as well. Like, Sneeko's what I would call a super connector alongside Chris Williamson. They're super connectors, which means that they're very talented and very hardworking at the skill of networking and connecting people together. And you want to know people like these super connectors. You want to become one, because these kind of guys, they have the links. So I hop on with, you know, I get Sneeko's phone number. He messages me like, oh, he's just been unbanned. Let's do a live stream tonight. And I'm like, oh fuck, that's a big opportunity. Let's do it tonight. Boom, we do it. Then he literally messages me like, oh, like he's gonna get Tristan Tate, Andrew Tate's brother. He's gonna get him on a live stream tomorrow, and asked me if I want to join. Chris Williamson, the host of the Modern Wisdom podcast, I messaged, like, we had a phone call just a few days ago, and he just subtly drops that he's quite successful in real estate investing. And I tell him, oh shit, that's something I want to get into. And he's like, oh yeah, let's have like a 1 hour phone call, and he'll walk me through it. He asked me what I'm doing recently, and I tell him I'm writing a book. An hour later, he messages me like, oh, by the way, do you have a publisher for your book? I'll connect you with one. This is what high-level people do. This is like the conversations that high-level people have, man. It's fucking nice. I was explaining this to Anastasia, like I was showing her some of the messages. And I was saying, like, this is how fucking high-level people actually speak to each other. It's literally like you ask the other person what they're interested in, what their goals are, and then you literally just keep thinking to yourself, how can I serve them value? How can I help them? How can I connect them with someone else that I know? I've just gotten, do you guys know Ali Abdul, the productivity YouTuber? I've just gotten his phone number. I literally just emailed him. It's as simple as that, bro. I literally just emailed him, just saying like, oh yo bro, like I'm gonna move to your city soon, and I'm gonna, like, we should do a workout together. And he's like, oh yeah, he'd love to. Here's my his phone number, and he wants me to like go onto his podcast and stuff. I got his number, and as soon as I'm like done with this live stream or something, I'm gonna try and connect Ali Abdul with Chris Williamson. I'm gonna start doing this shit. I want to be like a connector too now. I'm gonna connect guys that I know to each other, and that's gonna be me leveling up my networking skill. This is, bro, I finally have realized, like, it's taken me a while, but I finally realized, like, this is how high level people collaborate and actually speak to each other. They don't just like speak to each other about mindless fucking entertainment and like of news and publicity and all this. Oh, did you see what happened with Andrew Tate? Like, they don't speak to each other like this. They literally like connect each other to their goals. They ask you what your goals are. They keep it in mind, and then automatically they'll just come back to you and say like, oh, I found something that can help you with your goals. Almost with this subtle unspoken agreement that if someone provides you value like this, hopefully you will do it to them too. Let's go through the super chats that we have. Jameson reacts, £2. Hamza, would you ever box on a KSI undercard? I literally just spoke to my team about that yesterday. I spoke to a staff member that I have, and it might be something that we're considering. I might take up a martial art or like a sport like boxing very seriously to advance this purpose, because I can visualize myself. Imagine, okay, I go in and I fight KSI, Logan, Jake Paul, or something, you know, some big person in boxing 1 year from now, 2 years from now. I fight them, and in the like, I don't even watch boxing and everything, so I don't know totally how it works, but I assume like in the pre-fight interviews or the post-fight interviews, and I've just knocked this guy out, people are, you know, they want to ask me questions like, oh, did you think that you would win and stuff, and every message I send is related to self-improvement. I think that might be a way to advance this purpose to a level that we haven't even considered before. But I would have to dedicate like a year straight, full time, everything to something like boxing. X super chatted 190. Thank you, bro. Liam super chatted £10. I'm 25 years old and a virgin recently on self-improvement. I try to be positive, but no matter what I do, I have no hope. Interaction is so draining. I feel like ending is only option for me one day. Where are you at, Liam? It's interesting that at the start of your message, Liam, you've put that you're a virgin. I think that's something that is, a big thing on your mind. It's harsh, man, that the pressure that the over-sexualized, like, modern world puts onto fairly young people to have sex and, pointless sex and everything. And so many guys have asked me the same question of like, oh, Hamza, I'm a virgin. Should I just pay an escort or something, or what should I do? It's my biggest goal ever is to like lose my virginity. And I actually made a video which is very harsh, but it would probably help you. I made a video titled, "Why is getting laid your biggest goal?" It's on my channel, Liam. If you're not here right now, it doesn't seem like you're not replying or anything, but it is on my channel. There's a video on my channel titled, "Why is getting laid your biggest goal?" It's unfiltered as fuck. It's harsh. It will hurt your feelings, but it might help you. You've said that you try to be positive, but no matter what, you have no hope. And I think hope is honestly the single most valuable thing you could have at this point. Hope comes from the belief that the future will be better if you do something about it. And we can break this down to a very practical step. Like, I could be here right now and just talk like wishy-washy and everything. But very practically, we can say that you will feel hope the more you invest into delayed gratification activities. It's no wonder why the majority of us feel depressed, anxious, hopeless, because we can foresee the future and see that life wouldn't get any better. Now, this is for the majority of men, the men who aren't really on self-improvement. They can see the future and think, well, nothing's going to improve. I'm going to stay a virgin. Life's not good. But when you get onto self-improvement and you really commit to it, sometimes it can take weeks or months to get to the point where you'll actually make some good progress. But something changes in your mind when you commit yourself to self-improvement and delayed gratification activities like exercise, clean eating. You start to just so clearly see the future in front of you getting better and better over time. Something as simple and as practical of, for example, going to the gym. Do you know how many lives just going to the gym and lifting some weights has been saved? How many lives have been saved from just going to the gym and lifting weights? It seems so simple. The reason why it's so significant isn't just because of the effect of building muscle or whatever. It's because of what it does in terms of giving you hope. Because when you go to the gym somewhat consistently, soon enough you totally believe that a week from now you're going to be more muscular and more stronger. A month from now you're going to be even more muscular and stronger. A year from now you're going to look so good. You're going to feel so amazing. That's what gives us hope. On the other hand, what strips away hope is instant gratification activities. Video games, porn, Netflix, anime, junk food, drugs. Every time we do that, we can see into the future and see that our life will get worse. Every single time that we play video games, that we waste time doing anything, you don't even need me to tell you what it is. You know what is a time wasting activity and what is a good healthy activity. You know what they are. If your brain tries to convince you, your brain needs to even try to convince you and others that oh, video games are fine and everything, you know that they're not. Because every single time you do an instant gratification bad habit like video games, anime, porn, Netflix, you can see the future and see that your life is going to get worse and worse, and that strips hope away. The only way that you can feel good about your life and about your future is if you know your future is going to get better because you've been delaying gratification. A lot of guys pissed off in the chat right now. Oh, anime. Shut up. Shut the fuck up, pussy. Keep it to yourself, bro. If you've got some bad habit like this, keep it to yourself. Stop trying to negatively affect me. Stop trying to negatively affect my boys here. If you play video games, if you watch anime, keep your mouth shut. Honestly, like, I need to be a little bit aggressive towards these dweebs because they come in here and like anime's fine, a video just 1 hour video. I'm like, bro, shut the fuck up. Oh, you play it, okay, fine. You play it, fine. Don't come in here and try and change my mind. Don't come in here and try and tell my boys to stop playing video games. You see all of these guys, boys, look to the chat right now and you see these guys with anime profile pictures getting pissed off at me right now. Guess what they're trying to do? The guys like this who make videos and who talk about this shit like this, and they're talking about, oh, video games is fine, 1 hour is fine, anime is actually cool and stuff. These guys are so pathetic. They're trying to fuck your future wives. Any man who is telling you to do something which is a bad habit is trying to fuck your future wife. Understand this. Any man who is telling you that it's okay to play video games, to just drink alcohol every now and then, oh, weed's not too bad. Any man who's telling you these kinds of things, which we all know is bad for us. Any man who's telling you to slow down in the race of men is trying to run past you so that he can fuck your future wife. Don't trust these motherfuckers. These people, they've made videos about me over the last year, countless, relentless, critical videos about me, saying that Hamza's being too harsh, but 1 hour of video games is fine. I watch them and I'm just thinking, how like, they're saying that I'm a bad person because I'm too strict on self-improvement. How am I a bad person from expecting better from my young boys? How am I a bad person from expecting better from these young men who actually want to improve? From equipping them with, like, this expectation that you don't need these pointless fucking brain-dead media. And these same people, like, I see their critical videos about me all the time. You can go and search, like, Hamza's Wrong on YouTube. These amount of motherfuckers who have made videos saying, oh, well, Hamza doesn't even know what he's talking. He's just a young guy. 1 hour of video games isn't going to hurt you. These motherfuckers, bro, they're so slimy. Imagine we are all in a race. As men, this is how life works. We are all in a race. That absolute Giga Chad is way at the front. He's lapping all of us. And guess what's at the end of this race? Guess what's at the finish line? Does anyone know what is at the finish line of the race of men? Who is waiting there? Who is waiting at the finish line of the race of men? Women. Everything that we want. Women, status, money, recognition, resources. Everything that we want is just waiting there at the finish line. And how life works as a man is that we are all in this race and we're trying to get to that finish line. And the most important thing, whether or not someone wants to admit it or not, the most important thing that we're running in this race for is our future wives. It's the single most important thing of our life is the woman that we have children with. That's why we're running in this fucking race. And as much as these little dweebs want to say, oh, 1 hour video games fine, oh, Hamza's doing all this for women, that is the number one motivator that we could ever have, is our future wives, future mother of our children, right there at the end of this race. If you finish this race at the position that you are supposed to finish in, you will get that future woman. You will have such a beautiful family with her. If you slow down and say that it's okay to play 1 hour of video games, the guy who's right behind you, who you were going to beat, but you slowed down to play 1 hour of video games, crosses and he beats you, and then he takes your future wife and he impregnates her. Any man who is trying to convince you to slow down in the race of men is trying to fuck your future wife. These guys act pathetic with their anime profile pictures. This is like their sexual strategy. This is their sexual strategy. These anime profile picture motherfuckers, these video gamers, this is their sexual strategy. They're so weak and so slow that they want you to slow down with them. This is like the fat guy next to you in your work saying, oh, well, why are you eating all of that? You should just, why are you drinking water? You should drink some Coca-Cola. This is like your fucking weed-smoking pothead friend saying, oh, bro, why are you trying to, you should light up the joint, bro. Fuck you. You're trying to fuck my future wife, you prick. This is your Discord friends who are being left behind when you get onto self-improvement. Oh, bro, just play 1 hour of, just play one game of League of Legends with them. Why do you think that is? They see you racing ahead in this race of men. They see you getting closer to the women in the finish line, and they don't want you. They're trying to hold you back. They're trying to pull you back down into the fucking bucket of the crabs. Do not allow these guys to fuck your future wife. Do not allow them to pull you back down to this bucket. These anime profile picture motherfuckers. Look at them still complaining. They're at the bottom of this bucket trying to pull you back. Anime's fine. I'm just going crazy. 1 hour of video games. Shut up. Look back down that bucket, bro. Punch him in the fucking nose, bro. Fucking anime profile pictures. They've always got a lot to say, don't they? You boys, you must understand this. You must understand this. You already understand life works like a race of men. We are competing against each other. Any of these pussies who tell you that they're not competing against the rest of us is fucking lying. I'm going to tell you something right now, bro, that no creator's ever said to you. You're in competition with me. If you slow down to play 1 hour of video games, I'll fuck your future wife, bro. If you watch anime, guess what I'll do to you? You're gonna let me run past you in this race, bro? Are you honestly you're going to let me run past you in this? Oh my god. If you're on self-improvement, you should be thinking, bro, fuck Hamza. I'm gonna make sure that motherfucker's not running faster than me. Good. Me and you will be worthy competitors. That means we'll run faster and we'll beat these anime profile picture motherfuckers. We'll take their pillow, their pillow wives. Any man who is trying to convince you to slow down in this race of men is an enemy, is an opponent. See the underlying message that a man is trying to give onto you. See, always look into that. Anytime someone's giving you advice, always look into the underlying message. Are they telling you to slow down in this race? That means that they're going to try and fuck your future wife. Are they telling you to speed up? A very, very rare amount of men will tell you to speed up in this race. This is why I respect so fucking heavily a man like Andrew Tate. You can say any criticism about him, oh, misogyny, oh, human traffic, bro, you can say anything. He was such a man of abundance and strength that he told an entire generation of men to run faster in this race because he's so secure in himself. Here is a man literally telling you to run faster, and everyone fucking wanted to cancel him. And all these little weak soy boy anime profile picture motherfuckers will tell you, oh no, run slower, run slower. You're scaring me with how fast you're running because you're gonna fuck my future wife. Go fuck his future wife, bro. Don't trust any man. Do not trust any man who's telling you to slow down in this race. And all of these motherfuckers telling you, oh, well, look, Hamza's so sad. He's doing it for women. Shut up. Shut up. If you can't admit that your major motivator in life is sex and reproduction, you're at least slightly brain dead. Now, of course, there's other reasons why we're doing things. Of course there is. Of course, there's status and recognition and brotherhood and resources and our own intrinsic motivation. Of course there is. But if there's one big motivation for us, if there's one big motivation, it's reproduction. You're brain dead if you don't agree with that. Do not allow any man with all their like little cute little arguments and anime profile pictures and like, you know, sophisticated intellectual videos that they do criticizing me. Oh, Hamza's being offensive. Hamza's being too serious about it. Hamza's overdoing self-improvement. He's saying to be productive all day, but I want to play video games at the end of the day. Like, shut up. But at the end of a fucking hard day of work, I want to play video games. Shut up. They'll make videos telling other young men to strengthen their addictions. Imagine if you saw the same thing about porn. Imagine if you saw a YouTuber make a video saying, oh, well, I think all young men should be watching porn for 1 hour a day. Me and you and everyone here would be criticizing that motherfucker, wouldn't we? We'd be saying, how is he recommending and promoting something that is so inherently, so clearly bad for us? No one would trust him. He would get, like, not cancelled, but he'd get so ostracized if a creator told you to, like, watch porn. But these motherfuckers can criticize me and say, oh, you guys can play video games. Anyone who's telling you that it's okay to play video games, you shouldn't ever trust again. Anyone who's telling you that it's okay to be on social media, you shouldn't trust again. Anyone who's telling you that it's like okay to waste time, you should never trust again. Trust me when I say someone doing that shit is trying to, like, they see you running here They're back here behind you, and they're like shouting forward, like, "Oh, bro, you don't need to run so fast, bro. Why don't you just stop and play video games for an hour?" Why do you think they're saying that? Why do you think they're saying that? So that you stop there and they run past you. They're looking back, like, "Oh, what a fucking idiot! I'm gonna fuck his wife." When you're talking to other men, when you're watching content or something like this, just know and just be critical and just think, okay, is this man helping me to run faster or slower in this race? Harsh Shirokar, 20 yen. Thank you, bro. Aravind Nair, 200 yen. Your videos actually had a purpose. Nice, bro. Why am I grifting Andrew Tate's ideas for clout? What happened to the old Hamza? Shut up, bro. L. Daniel Fernando, 20,000 cop. Have you had in mind to translate or dub your videos in other languages? I'm a native Spanish speaker. You have demos of my videos dubbed in Spanish. Send them over to my email, bro. business.hamza.ahmed@gmail.com. T-Money Official, £5. Facts. I'm also connecting with someone who's friends with Tristan Tate. Networking elevates you up to the next level. Go, man. T-Money. Is it okay going to the gym after fapping? Yeah, it's fine, bro. It's not going to make that much of a difference. Louis, I'm out of breath from that rent, boys. My cardio's been kind of shit recently, boys. I'm not going to lie. Louise Arguris, $10. I've been on self-improvement thanks to you and have a great routine going. I'm not sure how to feel like a man whilst being 5'4" and knowing how women feel about it. I'm not going to ever lie to you. Of course, not being tall and being short is going to be a negative for attracting women. Of course it is. But it's one of those things, like, you can't change it. So you can be sat here right now and be like, "Oh, I'm short. Oh." That's a waste of breath. If you can't change it, shut the fuck up and improve the things that you can change. Simple as that. We don't need to talk anything more about, "Oh, hi, Tamza." Oh. You can't change it. Focus on the things that you can change. Simple. Boom. If you won't focus, if suddenly you'll start making arguments of like, "Oh no, but Hamza, oh, but it's gonna be so hard. It's gonna be so hard with this," then you're a pussy. It's as simple as that. Whatever your genetic circumstance is that you can't change, if you keep talking about it, you're a pussy. We all have genetic circumstances that we're all upset about. Like, "Oh, for a long time I thought because I was brown skinned I wasn't gonna get white girls." Till eventually I just looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, "Stop being a pussy. Push forward." Is there brown guys who get girls? Yes. Is there short guys who get girls? Yes. Then shut the fuck up. It's as simple as that. Stop talking about the one thing that you can't change and start focusing on everything else that you can. When you have a 10 out of 10 physique and you're a millionaire, then I will be upset with you, the fact that you're short and you're not getting girls, but that won't happen. It will not happen. So simple as that. Morgzilla, £5. After a year of being away from one of my best friends, he turns to instant gratification and promiscuity, and it breaks my heart. Yeah. Losing a best friend's never nice, man. And seeing them regress into bad habits is as a sad story. I won't go into too much detail, but it's not like a friend I've spoke about recently at all. But the friend that I had in university, I saw like almost his rise and fall. Like, I had a really good friend in university. Me and him used to go to like nightclubs and everything, and then he became more like me, so we started going to the gym, and he had such a fantastic start in going to the gym. Honestly, he was so strong, and he was one of those guys who just had like a built physique naturally, and it just compounded when he started going into the gym with me training. He was literally starting to lift the same weights as me when I was like a year and a half into training. 2 months in, he had the same strength as me and everything, and me and him were being productive, going on runs, getting girls, looking into businesses and everything. And then just slowly and surely, I just saw him just get like into video games and just drinking. Like, we were already drinking, we'd go out and drink and stuff. And I still, to this day, I still think that's like somewhat acceptable, if like, to drink. If you're gonna go out to a party and stuff, yeah, fine. But then he just started literally just drinking alcohol in the apartment every single day. And then he stopped going to the gym, and he just started playing Fortnite. Like, he got a gaming PC, and I told him like, "Oh, be careful and stuff." He's just started playing video games every day, Fortnite and stuff, and literally just like fucking yeah, you guys know how that goes, man. He just lost everything in that sense. I think he's doing okay now, but yeah. Sans 917 super chat, $10. I almost killed myself in April. Since then I started working out, taking coding more seriously. Now I'm jacked and make 6 figures. I look back at the scar emotionally. I'm glad I found your videos. I think it's so easy to look at men in our space, like a lot of these guys who have been commenting and everything. What's up, Jack? It's so easy to look at the men in our space and say that, oh, it's cringe and everything, and you know, this is too serious and everything, and like, oh, like, we need a new cult leader. Hamza is an L. He's got an anime profile picture. You see these fucking like jokers here, and it's so easy to kind of forget of like how serious this work is. And we've got it here from Sans917 saying he's pulled as much of a 180 as you possibly could. Can see Sue, don't bang my future wife Hamza. Well then, stop playing 1 hour of video games a day. Falcon Biz Black, £5, take my wife. T-Money Official, £5, doing 20 push-ups every 3 minutes whilst watching this stream. Black Pillars, drop down and give me 20 now instead of complaining about Hunter Eyes. How you doing, Jack? Bro, Hamza, do you take any nootropics? Smart drugs like modafinil? Nah, I don't. I'd be open to microdosing, potentially. This is what I mean about these anime guys, bro. This guy is literally commented saying, look at this emotional beta, and his profile picture is literally a little anime girl. This is why the guys who watch anime have got such a bad stigma around them, because it's like, not only is it just it's a cartoon that you're watching, you're a grown-ass man, it's like this culture of like looking at little girls in these cartoons, and like he's calling me an emotional beta. You have an anime profile picture of like some little girl character. That's weird, bro. That's so weird. What's his name? Let me call him out. There's so many of them as well. Like, I don't get, like, you know, what's interesting is like all the same guys, I've recognized their picture and their names, right? All the same guys 20 minutes ago were like, oh, Hamza W, Hamza W. And as soon as I mentioned that anime is bad for you, you see them come in and try and attack me. Like, for what? What, bro? Are you like a crackhead, honestly? It's like your friends, you know, like the crackhead, the neighborhood crackhead comes in and you're friendly with him up until you kind of say like, oh, bro, do you know that crack's bad for you? And then like this is what these anime profile pictures, like they're friends with me and anime boys like this. And as soon as I'm like, oh yeah, like anime might be a waste of like doing some like weird ass fucking anime like fucking special move on me or some shit, bro. For calling me an emotional beta. Fuck me, bro. Oh man, fucking anime profile pictures, bro. Boys, spam 1 if you're gonna run past these anime guys and take their future wives. What's their names? Let me see. He's silent now, isn't he? What's his name? It's too far away now, but yo, anime guy, if you're watching this, look at those ones, bro. Look at all those ones. Is an individual man who's running past you in this race of men. That's a lot of bodies, bro. And boys, for everyone else who's watching this, you see these ones right now. Do you see what these ones indicate? They indicate a man on self-improvement who's improving themselves. And I know this sounds weird. I know this sounds so controversial to talk about, but see all these ones. These ones are off men who will date and have sex with your future girlfriend and your future wife if you're not better than them. This is how the way of men, like this is how men work. We improve ourselves and then we're able to attract higher quality women. And if you don't improve yourself, you'll have to naturally attract the lower quality woman. No one wants to talk about this because it's so cutthroat and it's so dark, and you know, like, oh, it's not like a feel good. It's not like a, you know, like the sort of education system kind of feel good. We'll all find everyone. These ones, all these ones, they're still spamming on screen. All of these ones are another man who's running past you, and he will fuck your future wife if you slow down. This is it. Like, you all know this, right? Every single one of you know this who's watching this. You all know how cutthroat modern dating is. You know that the majority of men are so utterly lonely, and it's because of this. It's because of all those ones. It's all because of those ones. Because now a lot, like, you know, the 90% of men are pathetic, fat, lazy, fine. But 10% of men are ruthlessly competitive. 10% of men are fucking killers. Maybe not 10, maybe 5, maybe 1%. But 1% of men is still a big number, bro. 1% of men are fucking killers. All these guys spamming 1, you might not be at that 1% just yet, but you are pushing into it. You are pushing into it. Think about how many guys know about this shit now. Like, there's a very nuanced reality for men now, isn't there? There's the total fucking losers, 95% of men. But then there's about 5% of men who know about mewing, who know about nofap, who know about semen retention, who know about not, like, dopamine detoxing and not wasting time online, who know about the exact protocols to maximize muscle in the gym, who know about making money online. There's like 5% of men who are total fucking killers, and these 5% of men are sleeping with everyone's future wives. And so if you're sat here with an anime profile picture, we know what percentage of men you're in. If you're sat here not spamming 1 right now, we know what percentage you're in. I'm telling you, 5% of men are fucking killers. And I know this sounds gross, but those top 5% of men who are ruthlessly waking up early, who are doing all the good habits, they're that extra body count in your future wife. I know this sounds disgusting, and I know this sounds like misogynistic and dark and whatever. This is how life and dating and sex works. No one wants to talk about this. It's such a dark, controversial thing. It's such a disgusting thing to talk about, but this is how dating and sex works. The majority of men will get 0 women for the rest of their lives, and they'll plug straight into the fucking metaverse as soon as it's time, because their real life is fucking trash. They're already jacking off. I'd say out of 100% of men, 5% are killers. No, 1% are killers. 5% are like top tier men. 10% are like, okay, putting in some serious work. The rest, 90%, so these are the guys who are putting in some serious work. If you're not in the top 10% of men, you should slap yourself in the face right now and actually think to yourself, fuck, I'm a fucking dumbass. Because to not be in the top 10% of men is embarrassing. Honestly, to not be in the top 10% of men is embarrassing, and you should be embarrassed and think to yourself, okay, it's gonna take 1 year of hard work to get there. Shut the fuck up and just do it, bro. To not be in the top 10% of men is embarrassing. It takes 1 year to get there. Just shut the fuck up. To be better than 90% of men, bro. Imagine the 100 men that you walk past, and you're telling me that you're not better than 90 of them. If you walk past 100 men, you better be better than 90 of them, bro. Because 90% of men, okay, let's talk about the losers, right? So this is interesting, like, the losers are 90% of men, right? Now, out of these 90%, probably about 50% of them are the average guys that we see, you know, like, it's that fat guy, and, like, you know, that guy who goes to the pub. You know what's very interesting? You have never seen the bottom 20 to 40% of men in your entire life. I will say this again because you don't even realize what I'm talking about. You and I and every woman that we've come across, and every guy who, you know, who's our friend, and, you know, normal guys, we have never even seen a man who's in the bottom 20% of men. Think about that. Just think about that for a second. You have never literally seen a guy who's in the bottom 20% of men. He is so invisible. The guys who are in the bottom 20% of men, they are so invisible. They literally have like cum walls. They don't even, like, you know, nut, like, you know, when they're fapping, they don't even fap and into like a tissue anymore. They'll just like fucking just spunk all over their computer desk, and they've got like a special wall to just bust over. The bottom 20% of men are wall cummers. You've never even seen a wall cummer in your life. They don't go outside. That's 20% of men, bro. 20% of men. Basement dwellers, 4chaners, anime profile pictures. So then that's the bottom 20%. Then 20 to 50% are like the really weird guys who still masturbate 6 times a day or something, but they're in school or something. So, you know, you sometimes see him as like, it's that weird motherfucker over there. Okay. So that's like really weird, 0 body count, just addiction to masturbation and stuff. The bottom 20% are wall comers. Then it's like the really weird guy who's like making horse noises or some shit. That's 50% of men, bro. If you're telling me that you're not in the top 50% of men, if you're telling me that one of these guys is better than you, holy fuck, bro. You better be in the top 50% of men, bro. You better be better than average, bro. If you're telling me that you're not better than a fucking wall comer and an anime profile picture guy, holy fuck, bro. You are, aren't you? Spam 1 if you're better than these guys. Because if you can spam 1 right now and think, you know what, I'm not a wall comer, then at the very least, you're 51%. You're like the 51% of a man, and you're at least better than average. Now, being better than average is not like a fucking, like, you know, status. Like, being better than these fucking guys isn't something to be that proud of. But at the very least, essentially 50% of men are like wall comers and anime profile pictures and, like, you know, that weird, like, kid who makes, like, horse noises or some shit. That's 50% of men, bro. Now let's talk about the top 50% of men. About 40% of these are the average guys. Like, we think they're average. They're actually somewhat above average, who are the guys that you see, you know, oh, he's just kind of like, he's a little bit fat. Oh, he like goes out drinking twice a week or something. Oh, like he doesn't have a healthy diet. Those guys are a little bit above average. Because you've got to think average for men, it has to include that very low end of wall comers and anime profile picture guys. So slightly above average guys are guys who literally, you know, like I try going to the gym like once a month or something. Oh, you know, like, yeah, I'm just going out to the pub for a few. They're like slightly above average guys. Now, if you're telling me that you're not better than this slightly above average guy who goes to the pub for a few, bro, slap yourself in the face right now. Slap yourself in the face and think to yourself, how am I not better than a wall comer, an anime profile picture, and a fucking pub goer? Everyone watching this should be better than these guys, right? It's not hard, like, bro, if you're not, okay, this is like 70% of men. If you are in this group of men, holy fuck, that's sad. You should be better than 70% of men right now, and we still got to discuss the rest. That's 70% of men. Now we've got 30% of men. Out of this 30% of men, around 20% are the guys who are starting to, like, they're doing some good things, but it's not necessarily the right thing. So these are the guys who, for example, they're studying for 14 hours a day. They're so sleep deprived, fucking up their health, fucking up their testosterone, but they think they're doing the right thing. They're studying for 14 hours a day. They're working some like some shitty job that they don't even like, that doesn't even pay a lot of money. They don't like their lives. Their health isn't that good. They're not optimized. These are the guys who are like somewhat normal, in the sense that, you know, oh, well, you know, it's a normal person, they've got social skills, they know how to speak English and everything, they're not coming on the wall. But these are the guys who are left deeply lonely, and they're kind of frustrated. It's like, I'm not ugly. These are the kind of guys who would go onto Reddit and go onto like those subreddits which says like, rate me, like, am I ugly? And they're always like a 4 or a 5 or a 6 out of 10. But they feel so weird about life because they think they're doing the right thing, but suddenly they're just not getting the results of life that they want. So out of 100% of men, 70% of men, out of 100% of men, the bottom 20% of men are wall comers. They come on their wall instead of in tissues. The next 30% of men are guys who watch anime and play like 16 hours of video games a day. You know, the guys who don't clean up their rooms and they don't go outside. They masturbate 6 times a day, 7 times a day. The dick doesn't even get fully hard anymore when they masturbate. Then out of the last 50% of men, about 30% of men, I forgot the number that we said, 30% of men are like these like sort of weird guys who just, not even weird, these are like the normal guys who just go to the pub and, oh, I'm just going out for a couple of drinks tonight, bro, do you want to come? And they do this twice a week, and they, you know, they're kind of fat and everything, but they're somewhat normal in the sense that you could have a conversation with them, and they're just not high performers. They're quite low working class people, but they're somewhat normal in the sense that, like, yeah, they're still social, they've got friends and everything. Now we're up to the top 20% of men. The top 20% of men. You guys have all heard the statistic that the top 20% of men are sleeping with 80% of the women. If you've heard that statistic, spam 1 right now, because it's not true anymore. It was true about 10 years ago. I promise you it's not true anymore. That statistic, you know, the Pareto principle, the top 20% of men are sleeping with the 80% of women. That is not true. The real statistic now is the top 5% of men are sleeping with pretty much all of the girls. It's not 20% of men anymore, because the top 20% of men, the bottom 10% of this, out of the top 20% of men, 10% on the lower side are these guys who, they're somewhat doing good things. You know, they are working hard in a certain sense. They're studying for 10 hours a day, but they're just struggling with girls. Why can't they get girls? Because these are the guys who are doing the wrong things. These are the guys who, for example, they're going to the gym 3 times a week, 4, 5 times a week, But they're like, why don't I look good? And it's simple, like, they're doing a good thing, but they're not doing the right thing. They're going to the gym 5 times a week. Why don't they look good? Because they're doing cardio. They're doing like some, the boot camp class, or like booty blast fucking class or some shit, instead of just resistance training, instead of calisthenics. They're not bulking. They're not actually building some muscle and strength on a program. But they're like, they're going to the gym, so they're in the top 20% of men. But these are the guys who are struggling. So these are the guys who are doing good stuff, but just simply not the right stuff. They're studying 10 hours a day, messing up their sleep, low testosterone. They're not drinking anymore. But for example, they might still be like vaping or some shit, or eating like some processed foods. And these are the guys who, for example, maybe they're not drinking because it's bad for them. They're not smoking cigarettes or weed because it's bad for them. But they'll still eat McDonald's because they say like, oh well, it's if it fits your macros. And then they're wondering why their dick doesn't fully get hard, and they've got like weird health problems. And like they're doing the good things, but not really the right things. Hopefully these guys, they're like, this is the pool of men I'm trying to attract. The guys who are somewhat normal. They're someone, then they don't have anime profile pictures. Their name's not Aravind. But they're struggling because they're not doing the right things. Then we have the final top 10% of men. These guys are all doing the right things. And simply, out of this top 10% of men, about half of them are there because they've just somewhat new to doing the right things. So these are the guys who, for example, they're quite young and they're still struggling with girls a little bit. Maybe they've got a little bit of attraction. They've got girls that Snapchat and stuff, but they're not the guy who's like fully pounding through girls and stuff. Because, for example, they've only been doing the right things for a couple of months. Or perhaps, and this is going to be, hurtful, or perhaps they've just got very poor genetics, and a bunch of guys are saying this shit of like, oh, well, I'm only 5'3". Okay, well, you can still get into the top 10% of men if you're 5'5". You obviously have to bring some other stuff with that as well. So that's the top 10% of men. About 5% of these, so like half of the top 10% of men, are simply there just because they're doing the right things, but they haven't done it for enough. And then the top 5% of men are the guys who are doing everything right. The top 5% of men are the guys who are going to the gym consistently with a good workout routine. They've got decent nutrition. They don't smoke. They don't drink. They drink once every 3 months. They watch some educational content. They've got decent, like, just acceptable genetics. They're not 5'2" or anything. They're not like weird fucking deformity or something. They're like, fair enough. That's the top 5% of men. And then this is, a quote that I've liked, which is going to offend a lot of you motherfuckers. A quote which is going to offend a lot of you motherfuckers. If you're offended at this, spam 1. And if you're not offended, if you're actually inspired by this, spam 2. This is a quote which is going to offend a lot of people. It's a quote from this underground group named the Wall Street Playboys, like this very rich underground group, anonymous group. They've written a book, which pretty much none of you have read. I've read it. And it has this quote, which is so fucking good. It says, there is absolutely no competition to get to the top 1% of men because 99% of men are not even trying. But then when you're in the top 1% of men, to then level up through that and get to the top 0.01% of men, there is absolutely ruthless, cutthroat competition. So all of you anime profile pictures better be spamming 1 right now. All of you fucking black pillars, Hamza, I'm only 5'5". Be spamming 1 right now and say that quote offends you. If you're spamming 2, you've got my respect. If you're spamming 1, you're a pussy. Which one is it, boys? Because I remember reading this over a year ago, and I've got the book as well, the PDF, if anyone wants it. This PDF fucking inspired me. It's like an underground ass group. No one even knows who they are, but they claim that they're worth millions, and they've wrote just books out for like advice on like how to make money, how to make your life more efficient. And that one quote saying, there is absolutely no competition to getting to the top 1%, but then after that, to go from the 1% to the 0.01%, there is ruthless cutthroat competition. And does anyone really understand why? Because 99% of people are total idiots. They're lazy, they're soft, they haven't been doing the right things at all or for a long enough time. And then when you get into the top 1% of men, everyone's doing the right thing, and that is what makes competition cutthroat. When you get to, I know I sound like arrogant and stuff, but bro, when you get to my level, every guy's doing the right thing. Every guy's got a fucking 6-pack at my level. Every guy's making at least 10k a month at my level now. Now, I'm destroying my competition, of course, because they're not doing the same things as me. But fuck, man, when you get to a certain level, you literally realize, fuck, every guy at my level is doing... Like, I only know a few guys at this level, but there is like a fair amount of guys who are at my level globally, who are attractive, confident, and like emotionally intelligent, successful guys, top 1%ers. And now to beat the next guy, it's hard. Because let's say you're a normal guy. Let's say you're somewhere in like the top 70% of men. So you're not a wall comer. You're not an anime profile picture. You're just like a 16-year-old who's kind of skinny fat, but you've been going to the gym and stuff. For the majority of you right now, for you to beat your competition right now, you literally just have to go to the gym today. You literally just have to go to the gym today, and you've beaten almost every other guy at your age and at your level. All those guys in your class or in your work, if you go to the gym today, you've beaten them, bro. Come on. If you read 10 pages of a book, you've beaten your competition. Easy. Easy, bro. None of you have can make any excuses for literally the majority of you. If you literally just read 5 pages of an educational book, if you just go to the gym, you're better than every other guy at your level right now. That's easy. But then when you get to a certain level, every guy at your level is going to the gym and is already jacked. Every guy at your level is already reading books. Then it gets tricky. The name of the book is Efficiency by Wall Street Playboys. It's optimistic to think that he's in the top 1%. Explain the top 1% to me and we'll see if we're in it. The top 1% of income in the entire world is about 250k a year. I make double that. I'm 6'1". I'm confident. I've got a status of 800,000 followers in total amongst my channels. I've got about 1 million followers. How is that not top 1%? It offends these people, the people who say like, oh, Hamza's not the top 1%. It offends them because they're usually just racist. And they're like, oh, well, you can't be in the top 1% of men if you're brown. Go fuck yourself, you racist prick. Hamza's not in the top 1. Get the statistics and we'll see them, bitch. This is a load of BS. I lift weights, I eat healthy, and I'm still a 4 out of 10. The black pill is real. John O'Turner, what's your Discord, bro? Let's hop on a video call. Let's see what you look like. And I guarantee you're probably higher than 4 out of 10, but you've just believed that you're a 4 because you've been watching some bullshit black pill content. What percent is Andrew Tate in? It'd be hard to quantify, like 0.00001%, something like that. Like one in 100 million, 1 in 500 million, something like that. Let's go through some. Aravind Nair, 200 yen. Refusing to read my super chat in full and answering generated. What's the use of? Do you guys think Aravind is a wall comer? I think he might be, I think that's why he's so angry all the time. 1% more, 199. Stopped animating games and transformed my body 1 year. Good man, 1% more. Well done, bro. Is Aravind a wall comer, everyone? Spam 1 is if Aravind is a wall comer, the bottom 20% of men. He probably is. He commented, like Aravind, if you don't know, if you're new to watching my live streams, he's joined every single live stream that I've done, sat through for an hour, 2 hours, literally just typing in hate, and then keeps saying like he works in this high up career, that he's like a surgeon. And so me and the boys always take the piss out of him because every time he comes in, we're saying like, oh well, are you doing surgeries right now? Like you're watching Hamza for 2 hours, and he's super chatting to try and get my attention. I think Aravind is a wall comer, bro. Aravind, you see that, bro? No name, $2. Do you recommend a guy get strong / big or lean? I would say, yeah, 100% get strong and big first, so bulk first. And then once you've gotten a little bit more fat than you're really comfortable with and you've made great progress in the gym, then cut down. Too many guys like my younger self, we tried to stay lean when we first got into like fitness, and we didn't want to gain any extra fat. We wanted to have like abs and jawline and everything. And if you try to stay lean through your fitness journey, you'll make a lot slower and less progress than if you just accept the bulk. I highly, highly recommend all young guys to literally just bulk up, man. The single greatest thing that you can do, for your gains is bulk. Morgzilla, I'm going for a workout session now. W stream, thank you, bro. Paradigm shift, $5. Hamza, the man you look up to, Tate, has made all of his money capitalizing on the downfall of men, casinos, webcams, the things you preach against. That's a good point as well. I mean, he hasn't made all of his money on the downfall of men, casinos, and webcams. His argument with that is that if dumb guys are going to spend, like the bottom 20% wall comers are going to spend money on some webcam girl, then like fuck it, let them and you profit from it. Which, in my opinion, also does make sense. But then you can also say, oh, but he's causing the downfall of men. Who's responsible? Is it the guy who manages the webcam girls, or is it the guy who's paying the webcam girls? Who is responsible for men being weak? I think the responsibility lies with the fat guys who are watching the webcam girls, personally. But actually, I would say you're wrong in the sense that, like you said, he's made all of his money capitalizing there. He's made most of his money now has come from his new movements in teaching like men's finance and everything. And of course, you can criticize Hustlers University and shit, but it's like most of his money has seemed to come now from the recent moves that he's made, which is all about pushing forward this message. Lukewarm 75 super chatted $17.99. I have a dream life that I want so badly and more than anything in the world, and I think about it all the time. However, I just can't get it to consistently motivate me. Is enjoying the process better than going for goals? It's a tricky question you've asked, man, because it's the standard like motivation versus discipline. And so, I've got to tell you, oh, well, yeah, just discipline yourself. Stop being a pussy. Stop waiting for motivation. What are you doing? Just discipline yourself. Just do it anyway. You're a man. You're not a little girl. You don't have to like just wait till you feel like doing something. Why are you listening to your feelings, Luke? Honestly, like motivation is a feeling and you're relying on your feelings instead of being a man and then doing the right things that even if you don't necessarily feel it. This is an eye-opening moment to a lot of people, a lot of young men, but you can feel something and just not care about it. Does that make sense? So you can feel like you don't want to go do the work, but you can just do it anyway. You've all been conditioned as young men to be so weak, to like rely on feelings and motivation and everything. Your feelings don't even need to dictate your actions. They only do if you're just a pussy. If you're a pussy. Mate, the car windows have steamed up so much. It's like I've been fucking in here. Falcon bits black, bits bizlack. Hashtag wallcomer. Psycho World, 60 yen. Love your videos, man. Keep up the good work. Thank you, bro. Stone Block 1, £5. Hamza, do you think it's better to ignore YouTube and streams and focus more on reading and goals? How should I use technology when it comes to info? Yeah, focus on reading, bro, 100%. Reading is a lot more educational than watching a stream or some YouTube video. Sans917, how do you deal with fear of losing success? I have an irrational fear that I will get back to the bottom 50%. It's not fear that you have, it's an outdated self-image. Sans197. The reason why you have this irrational fear to get back, that you'd fall back to the bottom 50%, is that your self-image is still there. You still think of yourself as a wall comer. You need to change how you think yourself to now be where you're at, or even better, to be like where you actually want to be. It's not about fear, it's about where you see yourself. FTBL 10 Canadian Zolox, thank you, bro. New super chatted $2, link to the book's PDF. I don't have a link, just literally just Google Wall Street Playboys Efficiency PDF, and one of the Google links will take you there. It's a really good book. You can get it for free as well. It's Wall Street Playboys Efficiency PDF. Search that on Google, you'll find it. Ibia super chatted $7.99. How can I start a business or be my own boss? What are the first steps? Where do I even begin? Hi from Lebanon. It's a very, very broad question, bro. That'll take me a while to explain. How can you start a business or be your own boss? The general rule of businesses and entrepreneurship and making money is to provide value and fulfill a need that someone or some company has. And that's such a vague answer, but it's, if you can really understand that, you'll start to realize, okay, what is literally the point of a business? The point of a business is to just fulfill a need that is out there in the world. So I personally think the best business that you can make as like a young person who's not too experienced is one of like social media, and just grow your social media channels. I think that's the best one. But a lot of people want to have like real businesses, and I respect that too. What are the first steps? Just research. Don't ask a question like this to a live streamer who only has like 30 seconds to answer. Go and research this, read some books on business, read some books on like entrepreneurship, read The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco, and that will get you started. That book was The Millionaire Fastlane by MJ DeMarco. Park Mel super chatted 25 Hong Kongian dollars. How can I somehow send you my pics so you can rate them? You want me to rate your pictures? It's not gonna be like a cock pic or some shit, is it, bro? Right, super chatted 100 non-Kongian dollars. People who are doubting don't realize that 1% of men are about 40 million people. Yeah, bro, people find it strange when I call myself in the top 1% of men. So when I say I'm in the top 1% of men, all these haters will say, oh, Hamza thinks he's in the top 1% of men, he's delusional. Like, bro, the top 1% of men means that if you walk past 100 men, you're the best one out of them. If you're not the best man out of the 100 that you walk past on your daily walk to the shop or something, that's embarrassing. Honestly, that's embarrassing. I walk past 100 men. They're all fat, they're all old, they're all out of shape. How can you not be the best one out of them? It's not hard. Being the top, like 1%, oh my god, 1%. But like, you've got to understand, like, the real game is at the 0.0001%. That's where the real game is at. To get into the top 1% of men, bro, it's fucking 2 years of work, bro. Come on. T-Money Official super chatted £5. It's funny how most of the guys in the chat hated Andrew Tate until you made a video saying you respect him. A lot of people are still really against him, and I can't really see why. I think they're just like, as Sneeko says, I think they're just bots. I think they've just seen a couple of videos. Oh, he's a human trafficker or some shit. I'm a big believer for, like, I'm not gonna say that shit, but yeah, just people saw shit of like, oh, he's a human trafficker, he's sexist, he's beating women, and they instantly believed an accusation. I'm on the opposite side where, like, I don't believe an accusation. Where was I? Mr. Alternator, $5. Hamza, I haven't watched your content in 9 months, but I thank you for what you did and you gave me a good life. First since August 2021. Thank you, bro. Arvind's back. He just keeps donating me like his monthly wage every single time. 200 yen from Aravind Nair. I'm doing it for the brainwashed kids in your cult. Some will understand me now. Most will when they're older. You spelt there wrong, bro. Nasari super chatted 100 yen. I've been on self-improvement from quite a long time, but I kept getting out of track. Love you, ma'am. Love you, man. You're doing so much at no cost. Keep it up. Thank you, man. Chisism 79 cents. Savage Unfiltered 200 non-Kongian dollars. I don't feel like working on my agency 12 hours a day, sending 200 emails and contacting businesses. Working like a dog doesn't feel good, but I still do it because I'm comfortable sacrificing comfort today for comfort tomorrow. Yeah, agreed, man. My throat's fucking dry. But every time I'm trying to read these super chats, it's like my brain fucks up and I just read like I read like Aravind does. John O'Turner, Hamza, you're not the top 1% of men. No way that you're better than Chad. Boy, spam 1 if you think I'm in the top 1% of men. If you walk past 100 men, would I be the best guy there? What's up, Bray? I'm sure of it. Jono, if you don't want to believe me, that's fine. Like, you don't have to, man. But I know I am. So you can be sat there like a little fucking dweeb. Oh, Hamza's not the best one. But I know I am, so whatever. But John Pasaiki, $9.99. I've been trying to pursue endeavors for my whole life, but never have I been able to follow through and keep at it. What can I do to actually keep doing what I'm planning on doing? Things change, man. Maybe it sounds like you're probably young. You're really getting into like some business or some endeavor, and then things change after 3 months, 6 months, 9 months. When you're young, you shouldn't feel like you need to stick to something for the rest of your life, because it's not so much that you found the thing that you really want to do for the rest of your life. It's more so that you found the thing that you want to try for a month or two, up until you want to try and get experience somewhere else. Lil Man super chatted $4.99. I'm 17 years old and want to join the Marine Corps, but read The Millionaire Fastlane and thinking about business. Which one do you think I should do? The fact that you've said that you're just thinking about business means that it's probably not for you. I mean, it could be, but like that's a pussy attitude. I know you're only 17, so fine, but like I'll always be honest with you. Anyone who tells me they're thinking about doing something instantly loses a little bit of my respect, because it's like, shut the fuck up, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm thinking about starting this. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Do it then, Bridge. What are you waiting for? I'm thinking about business. Do it. Do it first. Don't ask me, bro. Come on. Do it. Like, don't say you're thinking about becoming, an entrepreneur, or I'm thinking about starting a YouTube channel. I'm thinking about going onto a dopamine detox. I'm thinking about getting onto semen. Shut up. Do it first, bro. Come on. Do it first, and you'll find out for yourself. I apologize for being so rude. I know you're only 17 and stuff, but like, I was the exact same, man. And I wish someone slapped me with some sense and just said, like, bro, fucking do it first. My MacBook's gonna die, boys, so I'm about to head off. And someone said I can roast him for his anime profile picture. He gave his Discord, but we don't have time. My laptop's gonna die, boys, so I'm gonna head off now. Take care, everyone. Do the hard work.